so welcome to my thoughts on the Game Awards 2019, or should I say, the game advertisements. Really, there was a lot of advertisements. That is why some of this stuff is here. A lot of people in the past, every year, I pull this stuff out and everybody's like, why are you advertising Doritos and Mountain Dew? Because it's a meme, it's a Jeff Keighley meme. And the meme is still alive. Let me say here that I thought the Game Awards was good, but I thought there were so many advertisements. I mean, things that you think are game reveals or game trailers are paid advertisements. And that kind of takes you out of it. You're like, oh, is this not really for us? It's because it was paid to be there. Where some trailers are there because they're there for the fans that, companies have put out and want you to enjoy, where other ones are, a lot of Stadia advertisements going on and things like that. But other than that, I think we had about 70% advertisements and 30% Game Awards. And my problem is when you get to the Game Awards themselves, sometimes they just blast through them super quick. And I understand they need advertisements to play these things, to make this all play out. I get it. It's the same for YouTube. You need advertisements. I get it. But my God, there was a lot. What did you guys think of the 2019 Game Awards? I'm going to go through all of it. I have a lot of notes here, and there's a lot I want to talk about. I'm going to have to move my Doritos out of the way and get right to my notes here. So let's start off with some of the awards. I'll go through it as it all happened. The best community game. Now, I could have sworn that this was going to be like a Fortnite game or something like that. It was Destiny. It was Destiny 2. I even thought Final Fantasy XIV, best community game? I guess they're still holding the game up. I haven't played for quite some time. I did enjoy Destiny 2 when it first kind of came out with the Taken King stuff, and then I fell off after that. So maybe that award is justified. What do you think of that award? Does it stick? I don't know. Best music, Death Stranding. Now, going into the Game Awards, there was a lot around Death Stranding and Jeff Keighley being in the game. And will the game get special treatment because of that? We were all concerned. Every time Death Stranding won tonight, I was like, whew, is it a little hot in here? I kind of felt that Death Stranding won the best music of the year in a video game. And you know what? I even said in my first thoughts for Death Stranding, I thought the music was very, very interesting, very, very fitting. And I thought, okay, that's where they'll end with Death Stranding. They'll give it a best music thing, and we won't hear from them again. I was definitely wrong about that one. We got some trailers. We got No More Heroes 3, the trailer, and I was like, okay, cool. And then we got another Final Fantasy VII trailer. And I was so thrilled to see that. I mean, it's a lot of what we've seen before, but this one to me was listening to the music and just listening to the battle music and all of the music from the original Final Fantasy VII orchestrated for this Final Fantasy VII remake. And oh my God, the music alone. I have the final record pre-ordered. I can't wait to hear the music for the game. Never mind play the game, because the game looks phenomenal. The cinematics, all of that looks great, but nothing we haven't seen before in that trailer, but I'm not complaining. Next up, best fighting game of the year. Now, what's unusual about the Game Awards is it started last December to now, to this December. So any games that come out from last December to now are picked as well. So for me, Smash Brothers seems like last year, but it's still part of the Game Awards. And I'm not knocking it. They've had some great DLC characters this year. I've loved it. But Super Smash Brothers Ultimate won. And I think it's very deserving of best fighting game. I really do. I think it's one of the best fighting games ever made for content, for the amount of characters, the amount of stages. I really enjoyed Samurai Showdown this year, but you can't hold it to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That is the ultimate fighting game of the year. Now, best narrative was Disco Elysium. I've never played the game. I don't know anything about it. They won a few awards. Then the screen went black, and no pun intended, they showed a huge black box. The Xbox Series X is coming out holiday 2020. They showed the next generation Xbox, and it's just a black box. That's it, Nothing special, nothing unusual. I kind of looked at it and I was like, okay. And they showed Hellblade 2. And I thought that the graphics in real time looked great. I thought it looked really like phenomenal. I really was kind of impressed with that. But I'm like, okay, so this is how we're revealing the Xbox reveal. And it was okay. Best esports player, I didn't have a clue who anybody was, but Booga won, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And another game trailer they showed was for Godfall. And it's for the PS5. This is what was big about this one. The game, they just kind of showed some kind of knights, some kind of armor kind of characters, and it looked really good. And then they said for PS5, and then I was like, oh my god, that's for PS5? We're getting a PS5 announcement? So that was the first, I think that's the first PS5 announcement we've realistically got. And then best audio design was Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and I'm like, okay, that's I guess fine. And then best strategy game. This one made me extremely happy. Fire Emblem Three Houses won this award, and I think it couldn't have gone to a better game. I played this game this year, and I did a review on it, and I was saying, guys, I think this is actually one of my favorite Fire Emblem games. I really do. There's some twists and turns in the story, and never mind the gameplay, which is really good, but the story alone is fantastic. So that definitely deserved to win Strategy Game of the Year. Now they had a game trailer that I did not expect from Square Enix, and that was Bravely Default 2. And I was like, wait, isn't that the second one? And I thought, oh no, we got another Bravely Default game. This is like the second game. And so I don't know if it's a remake or what it is. I don't have enough information. I just kind of looked at it. My wife is a huge fan of Bravely Default, and we're both watching it. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, that's Bravely Default. Those characters kind of look like that style, and it definitely was. Best art direction went to Control. A lot of my friends have gone on and on about this game. That's one game I have not played. This game was Control. There's a lot of games this year. Oh, here we go. Capcom is back, man. Best action game of the year, Devil May Cry 5. Big applause there. I'm so happy with some games that I played in the year that I thought were really, really good. I think that they really deserve it. Devil May Cry 5 definitely deserved it. If you haven't played it, you can buy it for really cheap now. So now's a really great time to jump in. The action, it's great to see Devil May Cry make a comeback, and a big comeback this year. Family game of the year, Luigi's Mansion 3. Super thrilled about that one too. I loved Luigi's Mansion. They kind of put it, balled it into this big family game pack of Nintendo games. And I'm like, okay, no matter who wins, it's going to be a Nintendo game. Luigi's Mansion, honestly, to me, deserved to be in a Game of the Year award. I really thought it was an excellent game this year. Very underappreciated game this year. I'm feeling that way. Best mobile game of the year was Call of Duty Mobile. I'm like, okay. Best multiplayer game was Apex Legends. And then they showed a trailer for Ghost of Tsushima. And this was really awesome because it was a trailer that all of a sudden busted into a concert, and the music is playing and they have the visuals on the back, and they showed gameplay and cinematics, and sometimes I'm like, wait, that's gameplay, that's cinematics. I couldn't figure out which was which, but it still looks really, really good. Summer 2020, we have a release date for that game finally, so that's really good. They showed Gears Tactics, a Gears of War tactics game. What do I think about that? It's something that I'm not really into. I like strategy games, but I'm very particular about what ones I play. Usually I play Japanese style strategy games the most, but I think for Gears fans that like strategy games, I kind of think it looks interesting. It has a nice look to it, but definitely not for me. Best ongoing game was Fortnite. Now, I have my nephew. He's on my Nintendo Switch friends list, and I was checking out his games list the other day, and he has 750 hours in Fortnite, and I'm like, he's gonna be really happy with this award. Best esports game, League of Legends. Of course that was gonna win. Best VR game, Beat Saber. That's a really fantastic game. Really makes a lot of sense for that one, so I'm happy with that. Best performance was Mads Mikkelsen for Death Stranding. Death Stranding wins another award. Not a big deal there, but still, kind of winning something. Green Day. Green Day made an appearance and played a couple of songs. They played an older song at first, and I was like, man, what is this, like the 90s again? It was so surreal to hear Green Day. And I must admit, the guys look pretty good for getting up there and performing. They look really, really good. And they sounded pretty good. So it's kind of neat, kind of weird to see Green Day come back, but that was totally fine. Now, Best Indie Game Studio was Zaum for Disco Elysium. You know what happened to me? I'm watching on my TV on the PS3 app for YouTube. And I must have been like every hour, all of a sudden, it would shut off. I just go back to the YouTube screen. I'm like, what? And so at that award, it shut off. I had to go read online. So hopefully that's who won for that award. Best Game Direction. Who is going to win that award? Who's it going to be? Death Stranding, Kojima. They won 3 awards. They won 3 awards at this thing. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. You know, when you are running a huge Game Awards show, don't put yourself in the game. You know what I mean? And if you're really good friends with the guy who made the game, you know, like, put a bit of distance. Because there was a lot of people questioning the integrity of the Game Awards because of Jeff Keighley's friendship with Kojima. And was he going to win all the awards because they're friends? You know, and I must admit, Jeff Keighley, I can see him being an honorable guy and trying to distance himself away from that. He's got too much to lose from that. But it's still strange. Death Stranding won a couple of awards. Then, all of a sudden, the moment we've all been waiting for, I've been waiting for, was the Game of the Year. Now, was the Game of the Year the one that you wanted? Was it the one that you wanted? We'll get into that in a second. I'll pick, see if it was mine. So, Vin Diesel gets on the stage to do the announcement of Game of the Year, Sekiro. And I gotta admit, I was a little taken back by that. I know it has its fans. But I was like, that's the Game of the Year? I was kind of taken back because, for me, my pick was Resident Evil 2, the remake. I love that game. I thought it was absolutely amazing. That was my pick for the Game Awards. That's what I thought. I'm like, they're going to go with that. Or I thought they were going to go with Death Stranding. And I thought that would be a bad idea. I didn't think that should necessarily be it. I thought it should be Resident Evil 2. And it wasn't. So that was one that surprised me. What did you guys think of the announcement at the end? Did it surprise you? Let me know down below what you thought of the awards in general and some of the games they picked. Were they right on the money for some of them? For some they were. For some they were a little bit off. I really liked Resident Evil 2 this year, so I was heavily leaning towards that. When I played that early in the year, I was like, this is incredible. And I'm not taking anything away from the Game of the Year they picked, but I really thought they would go in that direction. But overall, it was an okay Game Awards. There was too much game advertisements. Everything was an advertisement, you know? It was great to see Reggie get up on stage and present the Indie Award. That was awesome. But overall, I just thought there was so many advertisements that I was trying to pick out the real kind of content to watch in between. I was leaving the room a lot of times when I started to realize that, oh, what they're showing now is just an advertisement, unfortunately. So, guys, what do you think of the Game Awards? I'm out of here. I just sat through 3 hours of that thing. 3 hours. It could have honestly been a good hour and a half, 2 hours max. You know, so we'll see what happens next year. I think it'll still be a lot of the same. So, anyways, guys, until next time.